Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Let's Play Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver 2, and let's continue the game where we last left off, which is now assaulting the Sarifan fortress. And in the last video, we killed two of our former Sarifan brothers, Melchiah and Zephyron. And the irony is that it is now the Raziel, as a wraith, who killed them. And in the future, he will also kill them as they are Kain's vampire sons, as Raziel mentioned. So we have come in a full circle, sort of. And also in the last video, when we heard when Mobius and Balak were guarding the Reaver, that the circle was assaulted by Vorador. That is actually the starting intro of Legacy of Kain Blood Omen 1, which I didn't actually know. As some of you who have watched maybe one of my Blood Omen Let's Plays, it was actually my first time playing Legacy of Kain Blood Omen when doing the Let's Play. Oh, and now where's the goddamn door? Now which door was that I came from? My first introduction to the Legacy of Kain series was actually Soul Reaver 1, and I never got to play Blood Omen back in the day. So it was also, to me, very interesting to see how everything gets connected in Soul Reaver 2 in here. Where's the door? Is it? Ah, there it is. But anyway, let's continue on and meet the rest of our brothers.
Have you come to reclaim the monster's black heart?
You'll have to get to us first.
My former brethren, Duma and Rahab, confronted me next. This all seemed so elegantly choreographed. Exhilarated by the Reaver, I was drunk with revelations. I could finally appreciate the delicious irony of Kain's blasphemous private joke, and I reveled as I colluded with him across the centuries. For it was I who put these bastards in their tomb, thus providing the corpses for Kain to raise as his vampire sons a millennium from now.
Just as Raziel mentioned. And then ended up killing him and devouring their souls, once becoming a wraith. Let's see which one falls first, Rahab or Duma. Let's hit this spear gun still. Yep, so much for Rahab. So now it's only Duma.
Get back to the pit you crawled from, demon.
And here at last was my brother Turel, who along with Duma would bear me into the abyss without questioning Cain's command. So dutiful and righteous, even as a vampire. I guess some habits die hard. The vampire Turel had eluded my vengeance. The Sarifan Turel would not.
Yes, we never faced Turel in Soul Reaver 1. And if I remember correctly, back in the day when I watched information about that, Turel was meant to be a boss fight, but it was cut off due to time constrictions. Got a good combo in there. Really hate these spears as they have a longer reach. Yeah, and the hitbox is definitely a bit janky with the spears. Now, all that remains is Raziel's past self. Where's the... Oh, there's the door.
So, vampire, here we are. You've destroyed my brethren, and now you've come for me. You'll find I'm not such easy prey. I don't want to kill you, but I will if I must. Return the heart to me, and we can end this now. So, you've come to avenge that filthy parasite and reclaim his foul heart. You're a righteous fiend, aren't you? Apparently I am. No, vampire. This is where it ends. But you won't be leaving this room. Now, let's finish this. I'll make it mercifully quick. As you did for Janos? No, that beast had eluded us for far too long. It would have been a shame to end him too quickly. It's ironic, really. The great Janos Ordrin turned out to be no challenge at all. Thanks to you. Did you hear his cowardly screams when I tore that black heart out of his carcass?
Yeah, and as you can also see that there's the serpent. I can't remember whose name it is called, but yeah, there is the symbol. Was it called the Ouroboros, the snake that eats its own tail? And yes, we have definitely come now full circle. It is definitely a bit shame that the combat isn't as fluent as one would hope, because it does a little bit take away from the dramatic effect of this battle.
so it ends. My history comes full circle. Sensing its twin, the Wraithblade uncoiled itself from me, and instead wound lovingly around its former self. I felt its grip loosen, and as the blade left me, its absence chilled me more than its presence ever had. A foreboding sense of emptiness and loss stole over me, and a terrible revelation gathered like a storm at the edge of my awareness. With all other foes exhausted, the conjoined blades turned themselves on me, and I realized, finally, why I had sensed nothing when Janos offered me the blade. The Reaver was never forged to be a soul-stealing weapon. The ravenous, soul-devouring entity trapped in the blade was, and always had been, me. This is why the blade was destroyed when Cain tried to strike me down. The Reaver could not devour its own soul. The paradox shattered the blade. So, this was my terrible destiny. To play out this purgatorial cycle for all eternity. I could not bear it. Despair overwhelmed me. You. Are you enjoying this game? Don't fight it, Raziel. Give into it. Was this your destiny for me all along? Trust me. I felt myself weakening, unable to hold on any longer. The Reaver was too strong. The compulsion to simply let go, too great. And then, a growing sense of vertigo and the familiar displacement. The paradoxical moment when my twin soul hovered both outside and inside the Reaver blade. This was the instant, the glimmer of temporal distortion Cain had been counting on all along. This was the edge of the coin, the minute flicker of probability upon which Cain had gambled everything.
Now you are free to reclaim your true destiny, Raziel.
Behind Cain's eyes, I could see new memories blooming and dying as history labored to reshuffle itself around this monumental obstruction. And I could see by the dawning horror on his face that perhaps we had strayed history too far this time. That by trying to alter my fate, he may have introduced a fatal paradox.
My God. The Hilden. We walked right into their trap. Raziel. Janos must stay dead.
But Cain's warning was lost as I slipped into the spirit realm, too weak to maintain my physical form. And there, waiting for me as always, was the Reaver, the Wraithblade, my own soul, twinned and bound eternally to me. And I realized that I could never escape my terrible destiny. I had merely postponed it. History abhors a paradox.
Yes, we also concluded Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver 2. I actually was kind of wondering that was there more to this game after fighting Raziel's in his past self, that there was more, but I wasn't completely sure. But yeah, no, this was the conclusion. And now let the credits roll and let's see if there is an epilogue in here. But what can I say about this game? Well, well, actually I'm a bit lost for words yet again, because I was a bit surprised that I managed to complete this game now. I kinda had the inkling that there would have been more, but anyway, as I'm trying to let the credits roll and as I try to gather my thoughts, as I've said before, that this is a very good game and a very interesting story, but it is definitely hampered by the controls, as there is too much battle in the game and it never evolves from it, and the hitboxes, and there is that certain stickiness of the game, and to this day Soul Reaver 1 is still my favorite of the game. I simply just enjoy a good revenge story, but as I said, that this game definitely intertwines and shows how everything comes to pass for the final conclusion of the Legacy of Kain series, because there is still one more game left called Legacy of Kain. So no, it was not called Soul Reaver, it's just called, I think, Legacy of Kain Defiance. And once again we are left in a little bit of a cliffhanger. Well, what else do I have to say? Well, the story, it rocks. And once again, the voice actors, Simon Templeman, and unfortunately I can't remember Raziel's voice actor, once again put a stellar show, and they steal. But also the other supporting voice cast, like Mobius, once again. Originally, if I had remembered that this would conclude, I would actually search and try to find the voice actor's name, but they are shown here in the credit scenes. And yeah, all in all, a great game, hampered by a little bit of clumsy controllers and combat system, and way too, as enemies respawn and there is no RPG elements, meaning that the more enemies you kill, you gain new abilities or increase in strength. And unfortunately the Reavers, the Dark Light, I actually thought that there was sun, but I guess that was in Defiance. But anyway, that they are only used to solve puzzles, and they do not change the combat style in any way, and the Fire Reaver kind of feels a little bit gimmicky, given that it's given so at the end of the game, and you only use it to open Janus's chamber and melt the ice. But yes, there is, well, what else do I have to say about it? Well, I guess that's all I have to say. Well, the puzzles also are pretty good. They weren't as difficult as I remember them. A couple of times I got stuck, but even that was due to some camera problems in the first temple. But, and here they are. Voices: Raziel, Mikhail Bell, and Richard Doyle. And of course the Elder God, Tony J. Phenomenal voice acting, and also the other voice actors, Forador and Ariel, even though they only had small parts in the game, everyone put a good voice acting, and that's one of the reasons why this game is so loved, because of the story and the voice acting, just icing on the cake. But anyway, I guess that's all I have to say. Of course, we will conclude Legacy of Kain series, but when, I do not know, because I do have Defiance, and I'm definitely looking forward to do a Let's Play. But for now, Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver / Blood Omen series goes to a rest. So what's next? Well, next I think I'm gonna do a PlayStation 3 Let's Play, and it's gonna be a third-person shooter. What will it be? Well, you just have to tune in to find out. But for now, let the credits roll. I'm K9 Gamer, and this has been Let's Play Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver 2. And if you enjoyed these types of Let's Play, give it a thumbs up, feedback, ring the bell for notifications, subscribe, all that jazz, and join me again in a couple of days as a new Let's Play starts. But until then, as always, I'll see you when I see you. Later, and now let's see if there is an epilogue hinting about things to come. No. Okay, later.